What's going on, everybody? Muto here, back with another video today. I'm going to continue what I've been talking about, the slow pitch jigging in the bays for spotted bay bass, the micro slow pitch jigging. This time I went out to Mission Bay to fish some docks. So if you haven't seen my last video, go watch that because there's a lot of information there that'll pertain to this. So instead of rehashing a lot of the same information, just go ahead and watch that. You'll have a better reference of what's going on here. So this video is primarily the docks. Last time we fished out in the open, the 40 to 60 feet range with the slow pitch, and this time I'm doing it at the docks. We're talking 10 feet, 20 feet, and even with the smaller jig. This time specifically, I used this one exclusively. This was the Major Craft Jigpara Slow 20. Last time I believe I used the 40 gram the entire time. So you have a couple things working with you at the docks. You have a lot more shallow water and you have a lot calmer conditions. The conditions in the docks, they're in such a way that they're purpose built to keep the weather out. They have the riprap, the high rock walls, keeping some of the wind, and the current and the tides down, because people live in these boats and they're high dollar boats and they don't want them getting damaged. So whenever you go in the docks, they're really sheltered and they're built that way. So it's a different opportunity to use some different gear. So with the 20 gram, the reason we're going with that is because it's lighter. I want to stay in that strike zone as much as possible. So when you're shallow water, 20 feet, I want to use lighter, 10, 20 gram. If you're using a 40 or 60, it's just going to hit the bottom so fast. So the lightest jig I can get away with is what I'm going to use, because I want it staying, doing that, wounded bait fish action as long as possible in the strike zone. One of the techniques you can use that I didn't talk about in the other video, instead of being straight up and down, you can actually pitch these out a little bit. Pitch them 10, 15 feet horizontally, and then the same things apply. You want them to free fall, so it does its things. You get that dying bait fish action. So one of the differences in the docks is, since you have all that shelter, you can throw the slow pitch out 10 to 15 feet and still get the action. In my last video, when we were fishing a little bit deeper, I know I talked about you want to be straight up and down, but it's deeper and you have a lot more current, a lot more opportunity for it to sway. In the docks, you really don't have that situation as much. So what I do is I cast these jigs out sideways, maybe 10, 15 feet, let them flutter down. Now the difference is here is that I'll do a pop, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times, and then reel it in. As I'm bringing it in, a reel each time. So since you're super shallow, I'm not having to worry about it getting kicked around. We're 50 feet down and then you're drifting and it's just taking your lure off. It really works well. Still probably 80-90% of the time you're going to get bit on the fall right when you come down, but give it a few pops. I would say 20% of the time I'm still getting hit just doing that pop on the 5 times. So that's the biggest difference with the dock, as opposed to the deep fishing where you're just going down, burning it up, letting it flutter, going down, let it up, let it flutter. So I went out to Mission Bay. This is only my second time fishing in Mission Bay. Normally I fish when I'm on boats and stuff, I go out to Catalina up in Orange County, or I'm fishing around Carlsbad, the lagoons. When I'm going to San Diego, 90% of the time I'm going down to SD Bay, and do my fishing there. So I went to Mission Bay once, but I joined the Spotty Bowl. A lot of you guys watching this video know that. And what it is sometimes you fish Mission Bay, sometimes you fish San Diego Bay, but you don't have a choice. When it's the weekend to come from Mission Bay, you got to be there. So I went there on a Thursday just to check it out. My main goal was really to find where there's not fish and where there is fish. And I moved around quite a bit. So I went from point A to point B to point C, just down the line. And where I caught all these fish, it's a pretty short video, but I think I caught eight or nine fish right in the same area. It was like these 2 docks where everything was stacked up. So I hit it real hard. Everything was with this slow pitch. Like I said, probably an hour and a half in these 2 zones. I think I got about 8 fish or so. And then basically from there, I packed up and left. Went to go find some more fish with some different techniques. But I just want to show you some of the power of these micro slow pitch jigs, but this time with the dock variant, as opposed to being a little deeper in the 50, 60. So just showing you guys they work at the docks, and hopefully you guys learn something and enjoy the video. Thanks. There you go, big old girl. Slow pitching at the dock, 20 gram.
Hell yeah. Nice one there. Keep it off the deck, it's hot. Still just throwing that 20 gram. Got some weight to it for sure. Nice fish. Another decent sizer, heck yeah. Take it. All right. I gotta find my pliers. My tackle bag. All right. We wouldn't have to risk it so much taking those things out. It's kind of sketchy doing all that by hand with these slow pitch, but worth it. So here, you know, my last video I talked about how you want to be vertical up and down. Here it's not so important because we're in the docks and we're sheltered, so there's not much movement. I'm not really drifting, and the water's pretty shallow, 20 feet, so you know, you're not having this thing go down 50 feet. You're not drifting 2 miles an hour. There's basically no current here, so you can pitch it and then let it fall. So that's one of the differences when you're doing the docks here. Though I do want to be a little bit closer. Get as close as you can, but you don't have to be right up and down. You can be. If you can get in one of these empty slips, you can get in there and just yo-yo it. But you can go, you can pitch them a little further here, simply because there's no water movement. So when it falls, I'm not pulling it with me. It's still able to do its thing, and that's the goal. You want it free falling as much as possible. When it hits, I just let it do its thing. Still try to give it as much slack as I can. And then in the docks, when I use 20 or less, I like to do a little slow retrieve and give it a couple bounces. And for some reason, you get bit on the bounce with the smaller ones. Don't have any luck with it with like the 40 and ups, but I bounce these 20s, 15s, 10s. Every now and then they'll come up and snack it. Another decent sized girl. That one's coming back for it. Play with it. There we go. Bit it. I let it fall again. Little guy. Dink.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you learned something. It was fun making it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'll keep doing some more. Try to grow this thing. And, like I said, if there's anything I can do to help you guys improve, we're all here to catch fish. If you guys have input, let me know. I'd love to hear it. And that way we could all get better together. Thanks, guys.